Hello YouTube, this is an Ace Special, and today I've decided to finally present my suggestions for improving the strategy to the Fire Emblem series. I will confess that the ideas that I may provide will be detractors from some of the fans of the series. I want to acknowledge this and say first of all that you are more than welcome to disagree with me on my ideas. So on to those aforementioned ideas. The first issue that I have noticed, and this is the one that I feel ought to be addressed first, is the overpowered effect the leveling system can have. The simple truth is that the stats needed to be improved with more moderation. It might not seem like a major change, and in truth it really isn't, but the impact that this would have can be considered profound at the very least. In my review, I gave an example of how powerful Donald became by the game's end. At level 20, he had 40 defense, 48 luck, 40 speed, and 39 strength. By comparison, at level 2, he had 3 defense, 12 luck, 4 speed, and 4 strength. This means that his stats were 10 times as powerful in most areas by the game's end when in comparison to after his first mission. There is little wonder then why he felt so overpowered to me. Now, I'm not going to say that leveling up systems are inherently bad for strategy games or games with very strong strategy elements. In fact, many of the best strategy games I've ever played had the ability to improve unit stats. I realize that there aren't that many comparisons for the RTS RPG hybrid games on the handheld market, so instead I will compare to a market that has an abundance. Yes, my native PC gaming market. The truth is that RPG elements are the high fructose corn syrup of PC gaming because we've tried putting them into any kind of game you can think of. There are classics from quite a few genres that feature these elements. Flight sims like The Mighty Eighth, strategy games like Age of Wonders and Mech Commander, and tactical shooters like Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, and Hidden and Dangerous 2. If there's anything that these titles had in common, though, it is that while all their RPG elements and stats were important, often critical elements in the game, they still had the improvements be minor enough that they did not break the rest of the game. They all had moderation, in other words. In strategy games in particular, balance is crucial. It is a critical component on which everything hinges, and every PC game that did a good mixture of strategy and roleplay understood this. Now, I'm not going to say, for example, that a level 1 mage should insta-kill a level 20 general in Fire Emblem. By all means, the level 20 general should come out ahead, but at the same time, the general shouldn't become so overpowered that he beats the mage without taking any damage. I would say as a rule of thumb that the maximum a class should ever be able to be should never completely overcome the disadvantage posed from another class in a strategy game, or only do so at the very narrowest of margins. So moderation is the first suggestion I give, but there are others. These ideas to help the game stand out and make the strategy shine, while not taking away from other elements of the game. Why not have, for example, a flanking system implemented? This could be easily done by having the unit face a direction, and any enemy that attacks the unit on the flank gets certain bonuses or penalties for the unit on defense. Perhaps the attacking unit ignores a portion of defense or resistance when it comes to the attacks. Also, the idea of pairing up units in the game was an excellent idea. One I should thank the developers for. But why not allow the AI to do the exact same thing? Adding to this, why not then also guarantee that the supporting unit attacks along with the main unit, rather than merely having a chance to do it? And extend this to have healers heal the main unit. I would even go to suggesting mixing this with the flanking system, allowing attacks to the rear to hit the supporting unit instead of the main unit. It would make the game much more strategic and give players more options in how they conduct their battles. With this system, however, I do have one more suggestion, allowing the players to bring his or her full army onto the map rather than forcing him or her to pick and choose. It may seem like a petty complaint, but I'm under the impression that the developers want us to try leveling up as many of our units as we can. Unfortunately, though, this system goes against the grain, because a person interested in strategy and taught in strategy will want to use their best troops, and therefore most of the army will go unused. My last suggestion could be easily balanced by having enemy reinforcements determined by the size of your own army. This also makes sense in a military way of thinking, and would again add elements to the strategy of the game. With all these suggestions given, I do hope that the developers take time to watch this and think it over. I understand that the Fire Emblem series is their creation rather than my own. It is no insult to me or gamers as a whole if they do not wish to change a thing. In fact, as I said in my review, Fire Emblem Awakening is a great game, and if they didn't change a single thing in the sequel, I would still recommend it wholeheartedly as a must-buy. but it is a great game for the roleplay elements. In truth, I criticize the elements of strategy of the game and suggest these things to developers because I really liked playing the game, and I feel that there is untapped potential yet still in the series. I wholeheartedly await the release of the next Fire Emblem game, but until then, I will wait and hope.